minutes because I'll be heading to New York tonight, and we'll be appearing early tomorrow morning on Squawk Box. Tonight I can say that we have absolutely exceeded expectations. We are running right now neck and neck with Donald Trump in the state of Vermont. With the race too close to call. I had earlier tonight spoke to Newt Gingrich. He said, wow. He said, isn't this something? He said, they called Trump in Georgia and, too close to, we know what was happening in Virginia. And Kasich's running even with Donald Trump in Vermont. I mean, so, and that's not exactly my home, okay, Vermont. And we love Vermont, but it's a ways away. We are now basically tied for second in the state of Massachusetts, another state and we are picking up delegates in the state of Virginia, where I think we'll see some decent results in some of the suburban areas. And you know what's going to happen? We're almost to March Madness. We're down to really 5. So, we all think about the Final Four, so now we're down to the Final 5. And you know what they all struggle for? What they all fight for all season long? Home court advantage. So I think I'm going to have a little bit of home court here in Mississippi come next week. And we're heading north, right onto my home court with Michigan, and then, I'm going to tell you now, we will beat Donald Trump in the state of Ohio. So what's really happening, folks, thank you all for being here tonight, is what's happening is people do want to hear something that's positive. They just don't want to spend their time watching people insult one another back and forth, and they want somebody that can help rebuild the country at the federal level. Phil Bryant tonight here in Mississippi, a great governor, rebuilding at the state level. But I think they also want somebody that can help us to get our power, money, and influence back, so we can solve the most serious problems that we have in our society today, the problems of education, the problems of drug abuse that we see in our communities, the problems of poverty, and the problem of loneliness right here where we live. You see, because the spirit of our country is not driven by bigwigs. We just have to go do our job. That's what's expected of us. Just go do our job. And by the way, when we're doing it, we need to remember that before we're Republicans and Democrats, we are Americans. That's what people And as we do our job of what's expected of us, try to get things back in order again, balancing budgets, saving Social Security, cleaning up all these federal regulations that are choking our small businesses, being in a position to reduce taxes and simplify the tax code and give businesses incentives to invest in America rather than overseas. That's a given. And rebuilding our relationships with our friends and allies around the world and letting them know that America is back, that's our job. But the job of Americans, my hometown and the little town I grew up in, and my visits to so many sweet places here in Mississippi, right here in Jackson, or down the road at Gulfport, or in Delo, Our job's to believe in ourselves. Our job is to have the confidence to know that each one of us can be part of changing this world. We don't have to wait for somebody to come riding into town on some stallion to solve all of our problems. What makes this country great is the strength that we have where we live, our families, our neighbors, our communities. And if we all slow down and realize we're all made special for a purpose of healing our world, the world in which we live, You take the success from people at the top who get people to rise and solve problems regardless of politics, and you add into that the spirit, the reignited spirit of Americans who know that they can rebuild where they live and make it a contagious element in our society where people are going to know that they need to live a life a little bit bigger than themselves. We do those two things, and we'll shine up America the way we've wanted it for so very long. And this century, this 21st century, for our children and for our grandchildren, will be America's best. Thank you all. God bless you.